Hi all and welcome back to my channel. Today I am taking it right back and I have a very special unboxing for you. If you're an OG subscriber to this channel, you will know that I have an endear love for all things fine china, tea drinking. So we're doing an unboxing today for the lovely Royal Albert. This is going to add to my existing collections that I collected back in 2020. Stay tuned because I'll be hosting a little tea party here as well. I'll see you in a bit. Now we're going to start things nice and scented. I absolutely love this scent that I bought from Typo. And Typo is a really good gift store. I remember in Australia they were really trendy for ahead of its time because they had really quirky gifts. And yeah, I have used nearly all of it and I've only had this candle for about a week and I've been letting it burn just 24/7. Anyway, let's get to the important stuff. So I have been shopping on multiple different websites. As you know, I do love eBay for shopping for Chinaware. I find that a lot of people put their stuff on eBay, and you can also find some things from Etsy as well, I've noticed, but they tend to be a lot more high priced at Etsy because Etsy is more of like a business shop, and there's still business shops on eBay. Generally, business shops will have their items listed at a slight premium and it can be hard sometimes to negotiate, but I love getting a good deal and I find that eBay is the best place for it. So I haven't really been on eBay for a few years and I know that they're now getting into the pre-loved luxury market. So you can, buy with peace of mind on eBay now, and buying handbags is something that I've never really done on eBay. I did try once, but it ended up being a scam and I had to get my money back. It was all good and well, but I had a bad taste in my mouth, so I've always shopped on other websites. But with China, however, I've had better success. So I have collected Royal Albert. I have the 100 Years collection. I have a bit of the confetti rose and I've hosted tea parties. I actually wanted to expand on my 100 Years collection. So I did go on eBay and a lot has changed. You can no longer use an Amex. So I was trying to put in my Amex details, couldn't use that. So I just used my debit card, which is absolutely fine, but Amex does give me a little bit more peace of mind. So that's changed. And also I've noticed that when you put in an offer, if somebody accepts it, there's no more dilly-dallying. That money comes straight out of your account. I found this a little bit alarming because sometimes I just put in an offer to see if anyone will budge. And then all of a sudden I had quite a few things that were accepted and they were automatically in my cart. So once I knew that that was happening, I kind of pumped the brakes a little bit. But it did get me started with the spending on eBay, that's for sure. Nonetheless, I'm going to unbox what I found. Now, the packaging that I got was really well done. I was kind of like expecting, it wasn't really written in the description whether or not they will be packaged in their original packaging, but this is how it came. Now, this is what I call really good packing. My goodness, I don't even know how I'm gonna get this out. So you can see that it is quite large packaging and it is well protected, but I'm starting to think of how I'm actually going to move around with my packaging like this. I might just keep the whole box and everything how it came because I think that would be the safest bet. Okay, so here is everything. Shall we unbox and see the beautiful pieces that I've collected? So we can see by the shape of the wrapping, they wrap so well, just what is going to be in store for us. The first item, we have a sugar bowl. This has a gorgeous design on it. You can see it has got the 24 karat gilding all the way around. It has two little handles, which kind of reminds me of the old fashioned soup bowls that they used to have. And it has a little lid on top. So this is where you will put your sugar. My old Royal Albert videos, I did not collect any sugar bowls or milk jugs because I tended to just drink my tea black or just as a straight up herbal tea. So I didn't really need sugar and milk, and I focused on just adding the colors and the different designs to my collection. But now I am Well, I'm open to drinking milk in my tea. I have had some occasions where I just prefer to have a milkier tea, and I love having it with cake. I love having just a drop of milk in my tea. I've kind of changed my perspective on milk drinking in my tea. And then here we have the very well matching milk jug as well. I'll pop that one there. I'm trying to keep all the packaging separate because I do want to wrap these once I'm done, but they will be out for a few weeks while I host. So I'm very excited for that. And the person packaging this was just so thoughtful. They labeled everything so that you know what's in what. But I don't know if I'm going to keep all the packaging. And let's have a look at the star of the show. Ah. Isn't this just gorgeous? I am obsessed. This is the Royal Albert 1910 collection. So Royal Albert 100 Years collection has been out for, I think, over a decade now. They released it in the 2010s, and it has been something that they produce every single year as a classic for Royal Albert. Now, Royal Albert is also now owned by Wedgwood, so all the pieces that I have in front of me here today were actually made outside of the UK, but Wedgwood tends to all be made inside the UK. So Wedgwood does sell for a little bit more of a premium price, and Royal Albert tends to be a lot more affordable. You can get these pieces all around the world. Doesn't matter if you're from New Zealand, Australia, the UK, America, you can find Wedgwood pieces and they ship all around the world. And people have bought them and collected them all around the world as well. It really has a strong history of the implementation of Chinaware into the UK, and that history goes way, 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 way back, because China is originally from China. And they were making all of it at one point. And then we really did transform how we were mass producing here in the UK. And that's what really made things quite different. So this is the 1910 Duchess collection. I just love how it's Duchess, and it is just so beautiful to look at. Isn't it just darling? I don't have anything like this from Royal Albert yet. I'll just tell you what really drew me to this collection in particular. So I have all of the beautiful bright colors from the 1940s, or I think it's the 1950s, to the 1990s. That was what really spoke to me when I first started collecting Royal Albert. I love the pink tones, I love the yellows from the 1990s, my birth year, and I just really wanted it to be cutesy, fun, and light and refreshing for a tea collection. But now I am doubling into the other ranges, and I really did like the darkness of this. It has these really gorgeous blue flowers all over the design as well. So you're not just getting that regal kind of black design. It is very classic, and it's very, what I would consider everyday. I am going to be drinking out of this a lot more frequently. I tend to only host with the other Royal Albert collection, but this, I want to actually be drinking out of it every day. So at the moment, I am in the UK. I am not living in Palma de Mallorca at the moment. I have to come back to the UK as I don't have a permanent visa there, but I am actually in Scotland and I'm going to be here for a little while, and then I'll go back to Palma de Mallorca. So that seller was lovely, really good with communication. I have bought from them in the past. When I was collecting on Royal Albert, I recognized the name of the shop, and I looked at my purchase history and it said that I had bought from them before. So I was like, okay, it's good to buy from them. And what's really good about buying sellers from the past is that you develop a bit of a trust, and you get offers and discounts that you won't really get if you were just to, shop from different people. So because I have shopped, I actually do get things for a discount, and I just think that's so lovely. And the best thing about shopping for me on places like eBay is that you're dealing with real people behind there, and it's different from just online shopping. You do get a bit of customer service. You do get asked questions, whether or not you've read everything. Like, there's a lot more transparency, and I love that. So now we will unbox something else. This is from another seller, and I found this item just loosely. I wouldn't say that it was very cheap, but I just got it anyway because you never know when things are getting sold singularly. People who sell on eBay really know how to package stuff. Obviously, a lot of packaging has the fragile tape over it, but also it's bubble wrapped. There's, you know, extra protection around the bubble wrap, and there's also little foam inside there as well. And you don't always get that from retailers. Sometimes retailers don't really know how to pack their things, and I have had an incident. I did buy something from, I'll just say it was a few years ago. It was House of Fraser, and it came in a plastic bag. All the boxes from Wedgwood in a plastic bag, and the plastic bag, none of the boxes were taped, so they were open once I got there, and it's just, thank God it wasn't smashed, because it would have been just such a pain to have to send them back. But that was a cuckoo set that I bought, and yeah, just thankfully it was still all in peace. So here we have a lovely teacup from the same Duchess 1910 collection. Oh yeah, it's just in perfect condition. Sometimes I look at these collections and I wonder whether or not people actually use the items or if they just had them on display. It does have a little bit of what appears to be glue, but this is in perfect condition. It hasn't been broken and restitched, which we all know that if something is broken, it can be very difficult to really use, because if it is something that will cause leakage or further damage, then it can be a write-off. But yeah, this has been used. It has a little wear over the gold, and that's why they say with Chinaware not to dishwasher it, because you can wear the gold away really fast, and also the pattern can sort of wear down a lot, so you'll lose that luster. I have one thing left to unbox and show you, and this one comes in the beautiful original packaging. So if you're collecting from the Royal Albert 100 Years collection, you'll notice that you might come across two different types of packaging. There is the older version, which was the very first release of the packaging, and that is the rounded packaging. And the rounded packaging definitely has a little bit more of a vintage look to it. You get to see all the designs around the side, it will show you, and it has a dark kind of rim. But the most recent edition that they have done with Royal Albert 100 Years collection is in the square. So if you do get a square, you know it was made in this last decade, and that has been now put into this. And they do have a very new smell and feel to them as well. So in here, let's have a look. I had to, didn't I? I had to get the full set. So we have another teacup here. Obviously, if it's in the box and you've packed it correctly, you know that it's safe no matter where it goes or how it falls or how it rolls. Oh my goodness, it just keeps getting better. So this is the plate, and you can see the design looks quite dense on the plate because it's so small, and it's such a gorgeous design. You've got the yellow flowers, the blue flowers, just the same. So that goes underneath the teacup. We'll never know which teacup came without the saucer now. And lastly, the beautiful side plate. This is where you put your scones, your finger sandwiches, everything on this plate. So you can see there's quite the collection here, and this is the only Royal Albert collection that I have collected that I've really kind of focused on just getting everything from the one design. So there is some niceness about having continuity in your designs, but I don't always like doing things like this. I actually really love the mix match, and it is point of conversation on the tables. I do recommend, if you are hosting an afternoon tea party or any kind of tea party for your friends and your family, collecting different bits and pieces. They don't have to be Royal Albert or Wedgwood. I am in Aberdeen at the moment, and I have come across so many charity shops. So Aberdeen is in Scotland, and basically they don't have a lot of your typical stores that you would go to. They have an M&S, but their House of Fraser, their John Lewis is all closed down, so there's no big department stores anymore, and a lot of charity shops, and a lot of people here embrace reusing and recycling things that they've had either passed down or things that can really take a run through. So I have come across a lot of different Chinaware inside stores. Sometimes they have Royal Dalton, sometimes they just have Dalton. I haven't seen any Royal Albert. I will keep my eyes peeled though, but you can collect full tea sets there, and sometimes they're only as little as, you know, £20 for a full collection. So unbranded is always good. You can always feel bone china when you sort of feel the delicacy of it. It should be shiny and smooth. You can collect and mix and match, and I think that mix and matching is actually the best way to have an afternoon tea party. But what I am intending on doing with this collection is having it as more of a weekend occasion thing. I have the day off, I can sit down and relax and create some beautiful sweets to have with my afternoon tea, some scones, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So stay tuned and let's prepare some afternoon tea with our new china. First off, we're going to start by making some beautiful scones. Now the mixture is ready, let's cut out the shapes. I'm using a cup to get an easy, carefree shape. Of course, we have to take advantage with all of the leftovers. I have two mixtures for my sandwiches. We're going to be using coronation chicken and egg and mayo. Into the oven to bake. here we have the display of the beautiful afternoon tea that I've prepared for this afternoon. If you would like the recipe, please leave a comment down below and I'd be happy to give you the recipe for my scones and my finger sandwiches. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy hosting afternoon tea and any collections that you might find. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, be well.